Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in for this video. This is a carbon black eye look. From the shadow to the liner to the lashes, everything is really black and really intense in this look. So this is definitely your party look, your going out look, you know, anything you want to do to really draw attention to yourself and draw attention to your eyes especially, this is the look for it. And it's inspired by actress Kristen Bell. She was in the Sophisticate hairstyle guide, which you know I like to get because I get a lot of makeup inspiration out of it, and I saw her and it really caught my eye because of how just deep and dark her eye look was, and I thought that'd be fun to just really focus on black for a particular tutorial. I will take you step by step through this whole look, so keep on watching. Alright, to start this look you go ahead and apply some Too Faced Shadow Insurance all over your lid, and really make sure you get that not only on your lid but up into your crease and all over this entire area, because we are definitely going to be using a mix of cream and powder shadows, so we really want that to stay as well as it can. So really just make sure you've got that everywhere. Then take some sort of black cream shadow or jumbo pencil would actually be my best recommendation here. I'm using one from Wet n Wild. It's the Idolize in Graphite. So you're looking at a very deep dark, it doesn't even have to be completely black, but like a dark charcoal shade like this would work as well. We just want something very dark to really grab our black shadow and increase the intensity even more. So just go ahead and draw this all over your eye, starting at the lash line, so get very close in there. Then just continue to move upward, even getting right into the corner as well. This is a look that is really dark all over, so don't hesitate to get that right there in the inner corner, and then up into the crease. And then we're going to kind of think, as we get to this outer part here, think about extending that out. Like if you were going to draw an outer V on yourself, instead of make it out of shadow, where would that be? I would go up a little bit and make like just this little outer extension of the eye, basically. Think of it like that. That's the sort of shape we're going for here. We also want to come down a little bit underneath with this. Now we will have eyeliner on, but just to give us an awareness of the shape, I'm taking the pencil and coming down below here. If you were using a cream eyeshadow, I would definitely, instead of using your finger for this, I would use a smallish brush, so you could make these different, I guess, shapes out of it here. But we've got that all over, and now this is a key step, so really don't forget this. Don't go straight to your eyeshadow. Take your finger and blot over all of this. What this is doing, it may not seem like it's doing a lot, but look what I'm picking up on my finger here. Here you're getting the excess product off of that. This is kind of I mean, you saw how easily that pencil glided on. That's great, but there's a lot of moisture in it that you don't really need. So it's just like sometimes, you know, when you want to blot your lips after you put a bunch of gloss on or something like that. Same exact thing that we're doing here. We're blotting it with our finger. And as you can see, we've got a lot of extra product there that I'm just going to wipe off here. Also, I'm going to take a cotton swab, Q-tip, and just kind of go over that edge. And there we are. There is our cream base for this look. But you can see it can get a whole lot darker. So now we're going to go to our shadow. I recommend using a matte black shade here, and I'm going to use matte carbon, about as black as it gets. And I'm going to take a flat eyeshadow brush. I'm using my Sonia Kashuk medium shadow brush. You can see it is definitely a flat type brush. Get some of that shadow on there, and then just kind of, we want to overlap all of what we did there with the pencil thing, or the jumbo pencil. So just get right in there, top it off, and just build the intensity. We want this to look more black than it did before, so just pat that on. Now we want to make sure we get the crease as well, so get some shadow on your brush, flip it around, make it so the brush is really zoning in right there on the crease. And we're going from the crease way in here all the way out here, and patting, but also pulling right around just beyond where we put our pencil. So we want that to really blend out. You can see right now how this is just really faded out. There's a couple more products in a few minutes that you'll see that are really going to help us get that effect, that natural fade that we've got here. Fading from black to skin tone is a process. So this is just kind of step one of that process, is just, you know, going beyond where we put that pencil and making it just the shadow, which will decrease in intensity as we go out. Now that we've worked with just basically taking the cream, topping it with the shadow, we want to pay attention a little bit more to the shape. You can see it's kind of muddy right now. This isn't exactly defined or blended out. So I want to take my Essence of Beauty fine crease brush, and the most important place for this to be black is our crease, because that's where naturally the color, that's where color recedes a little bit in our eyes. So we want that to be as black as possible. And using a smaller brush, it's going to allow us to do that. So go there, and then just kind of like I would normally do an outer V probably with this kind of brush. So I'm just doing what I would do. Just kind of going out, coming over, and just really defining that. Looking at my other eye, seeing basically what the shape is that I'm working with, and just kind of blending it out. Now I'm going to take my Sephora rounded crease brush, really blend on the outer part up here. Right around there. So now we're looking at, you know, a slightly more finished look where the black is concerned, but what I've noticed from looking at the picture is there's a little something extra to this look. The makeup artist didn't simply put black on there, make an outer V, and call it a day. They put a little bit of a warmer shade to allow that black to blend more to a skin toned look. And a shade that I think kind of duplicates what I see in the picture is a shade from Milani called Golden Bronze. This is sort of a very light brown with tons of gold in it. So I'm going to take my, actually smaller than that, I want to use my Essence of Beauty, not the fine crease brush, but the one that's one stage up from that, comes in the same kit with it. Get a little bit of that shimmery shade on there, and this is kind of like the difference maker of this look. Sometimes in my shadow tutorials, it's like there's that step that just takes it up a notch, you know? This is kind of it for me here. So going right to where the black fades to nothing, going right over that border with this pretty golden tone, and you see how that is turning to, I don't know, it's just that fade is beautiful. Loving how that works. Going back for a little more. Again, we only are really putting this on this part of the eye, right from here to there. Creating a nice little fade for us, making it look a lot more natural and just, I mean, hot. It's just making the look hot right here. I love this step. Now we want to not neglect this whole space here. I have more space between here and here than Kristen Bell has in the picture, so I need to do something with it. So I'm going to take Golden Sunrise from CoverGirl. This shade could look very intense like that, but I always like to sheer it up by using a fluffier brush, Sephora rounded crease brush, get a little bit on, and go right up here. Just covering the whole area from what we just did to the actual eyebrow. And then just to lighten it up a little bit right under the arch of our brow, I'm using MAC's Naked Lunch. We'll come back to this shade in a moment for the one lighter area down there, but just going right under my arch like so. As dark as this look is, I still want to use a liner on my upper lash line. I'm going to be using my LA Girl Fineline. It's just a black pen type liner, very fine tip. Going to go from inner to outer corner just to really, I mean, no matter how black we make this, it seems like this is always going to be blacker just because it's a liquid form. So I really want that darkness to be very close to my actual eye. So that's why we're going to go ahead and use liner. I'm just going to go from my extreme inner corner here, staying very close to the lash line. And it's going to almost be hard to see. If you did the last step right, it's almost going to be hard to see that black. Getting it right in there with the lashes. And then you might wonder, well, what do you do with the liner from here? You don't necessarily have to wing the liner out at all, but I am, just to keep consistent with this shape we've got going out there. So I'm going to be taking it out just a little bit. See how I'm just drawing it out to extend slightly, and it's just going to give us sort of another little base thing to stick our, we're going to use some false eyelashes, so they'll just kind of fall on top of that and it'll all just have that nice darkness to it. A really creamy option is from Almay. It's just the Almay pencil eyeliner in black. Just works very well to get this intense look that we have. So what you're going to look to do here is go right in the corner, blending it right up to that corner there, corner of the upper liner, and then come down. We're going to go all the way in, staying kind of right between the lashes here. Sorry, I hate it when I do that. I go back and look at my video and I see I've gone out of frame for the whole liner step and I hate it. Okay. Sometimes it's kind of challenging to get right in between the lashes, but when you're doing water lining, you don't want to have any kind of little light gap there, you know, between, if you're doing both lining on the natural lash line and the water line, it needs to all be dark, so you've got to really keep it close. Okay, now for the water line, taking the same liner, it's very soft and will stay very black for me here. Tugging down slightly and very gently. And just getting this whole area nice and dark. You'll see any gaps then that you need to go over. I'll go over those later. And she has liner that goes completely in to the very inner corner there. So there is our liner look, guys. Not too difficult. And one final step we can't leave out on the liner is to top off our lower liner, which is very creamy. We want to increase the staying power here as much as we can, so we're coming back to matte carbon, taking my Coastal Scents Tack-On liner brush, getting a little bit of that powder on the brush, and just top it off right here from outer corner to inner corner. It's not really making it any thicker, but it's just going over it. It's also, it may be making it a little bit darker. It's taking any sheen from that cream in the liner and kind of making it matte when we put this matte shadow on top. So this look, while it is so dark, it still remains pretty defined, and I kind of like that. And one last little thing to think about here shadow-wise. I feel like I keep thinking I'm done with this, but then I have one more thing to do. There is one bit of light in the basic eye area here, and that is right around the tear duct. There is just a light shade, so I'm taking MAC's Naked Lunch, just a very light shade, a little bit of shimmer to it. Taking my Coastal Scents mini chisel crease brush and just coming right around here, just working it right up. So this little like backward C area right here around our eye is just a little bit lit up. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. There we go. And next what I'm going to do is apply some mascara on my top and bottom lashes. On the top, I'm going to use Stila Major Lash Mascara. It holds my lashes in a nice curl, and that's going to help us when I put on my Revlon Fantasy Lengths False Lashes, the Intensifying set. These are not the self-adhesives. I just got these from the store, Intensifying. They look like that. And going to pop those on. Then on my lower lashes. Looking at the picture, she's got a lot of thickness that shows up in the lower lashes, but not a lot of length. You can see what I did here. I really went over the lashes, but I didn't drag my brush through the length of my lashes because I didn't want them to look too long. So I'm taking my Maybelline Lash Discovery with the mini brush and really just kind of keeping it right in there, close to the lash line itself, and that's what's going to give us sort of a thick look there, but not a long look. So I'm going to do all those steps, and then I will join you with the finished look. Alright guys, we're back with the finished look. As you can see, just a super, super dark eye look. The false lashes, I feel, really set it off and kind of make it look even darker because they stay consistent with that shape we've got going on here. On my lips, I used, first I put some lip balm on, and then I used the Rimmel 1000 Kisses lip pencil in Natural, so just kind of a nude pencil all over, and then I put on one of the Coastal Scent Smacks in Strut On Nude, so that's just kind of a sort of somewhat opaque, well, just a little bit of shimmer to it, nude gloss. So in the picture, as you can see, she stays very nude on the lips, but the eyes are just really where the intensity is. And so I really wanted to mimic that with this look. I hope you really enjoy it. And if you want more tutorials like this, more celebrity-inspired looks, just let me know. Tell me what celebrity you're interested in seeing a makeup look on, and I will see if I can give it a try. So thanks for watching, guys. Have a great day.